Yeah, says you. Welcome, everyone. I cannot see comments on Facebook and YouTube, so I apologize. And maybe somebody from our team will be able to post links to things. I don't know. Because I'm working remotely today and it's pouring rain. So I want to give you a Pupdate on Charlie. And Instagram was not Wendy bought a badge. Thank you so much on Instagram. So I did an interview with a dear friend, who Peggy Hoyt, who has a law firm that does trust funds or for our pets in general, if something should happen to us. So over the past couple of weeks, there's been this discussion going on. I saw in one of our Cavalier groups a picture of this very sad little face. I'll see if I can. Oh, he's digging to get in. This is our sad little face. This is Charlie. And I think the shelter gave him that name. I'm not sure. And unfortunately, every time a shelter or a rescue gets a dog that they think is a Cavalier into rescue, it instantly becomes Charlie. He does answer today. I don't know if that's just because he's been called Charlie for the past couple of weeks or if that really was his name. Who the heck knows? But there was this huge discussion about whether he was a Cavalier or a Cocker Spaniel. And for those of you who've been following us for a long time, you know that Hugh and I love our Cavaliers. We also love our English toys. And I'm going to open this door and he's going to come in here and hopefully we're not going to have a tangle of wires. My voice. So we love Cocker Spaniels. We had rescued Scout and Freckles quite a ways back as well. He's going to make a big mess in here. It's going to be fun. So it didn't matter whether he was a Cavalier or a Cocker Spaniel or a Cockalier. We don't know. But he's here. And now he's getting tangled in wires. There you go. Hugh's trying to wrangle him. Sorry. So we did finally, through a really great rescue group, Long Island, New York, Cavalier Alliance, they agreed to try to get this dog out of the shelter for us, which was amazing because we clearly couldn't shelter and say, hey, we want to adopt this dog. And I couldn't find anywhere online where we could apply for him. So they were nice enough to arrange his release from his jail. And so the understanding that I have is that his parent passed away and there was no family to take him. So unfortunately, because there were no plans in place, that's why he ended up in a shelter environment. And he has these really mature cataracts. Okay, now he's going crazy. Because he has these really mature cataracts, sorry. Just take him out. They thought that he was really old, so they pegged him as a senior. Not a good thing if you're trying to get a dog out of a shelter. So, because they have a hard time getting adopted. Hey, buddy. So, anyway, we saw him. We fell in love instantly. And somebody could get him, and Cavalier, sorry for the commotion, Cavalier Alliance was nice enough to say, yeah, we'll get him out for you. And then they helped us arrange transport. And big shout out to Kathy and Chuck Watson in New Jersey for being willing to do a big leg of driving, for putting us and our new dog up overnight. It was great. So we got him home, and yesterday we took him to our local veterinarian. He had already been to 2 veterinary visits. One was with the shelter. They did an exam on him. He had typical shelter medicine. He was given every vaccine known to dog kind, and I understand why shelters practice the way. From the holistic standpoint, it does make me a little crazy. So he did have a ton of vaccines, which is great because now he won't have to have any forever. And he was also unfortunately given an isoxazoline. Again, I get why they do it, but oh man. So we got a lot of detox that we're going to have to do with this. So that's one of the first things we have to deal with. But really the biggest thing that we had to deal with very first off the bat is getting him to eat. He has been fed a poor quality, at least at the shelter. Lord knows what he was eating previous owner. I have no idea. He is overweight, so I have a feeling he got a lot of handouts. I don't know, or he was just being fed too much or didn't have any exercise. But so when he came to us, as you know, we have no kibble in our house. So that's not an option. So the first meal he skipped, he said, oh, that raw stuff, that doesn't even smell like food. I don't know what that is. It's got a texture. I am not doing that. So we said, okay. So I have 27 different bags of treats in the cabinet. So I said, all right, let's try some of these freeze-dried kind of softer treats. And he said, no, doesn't cry. So then I had some chicken gizzard sticks. I said, let's try these because they're nice and hard. And he said, oh, those are pretty good. So he ate a few of those. And then the next day he kind of said, so Hugh made him scrambled eggs in the morning. And he said, I don't know. And I gave him just this little tiny little bacon. And he said, ooh, food. And then he ate his eggs. So that worked out. Last night we cooked him some All Provide. No, we cooked him Viva Raw last night, Viva Raw turkey, complete. And he said, oh. And so he ate a decent meal last night. And then twice today, he fried beef and decided that is really awesome stuff. That's him bumping me again. He decided that was really awesome stuff. So now we have the dog eating, and eventually we will be able to, I hope, get him over to raw. But if he wants to do gently cooked, I am absolutely fine with that because he's now on kind of a no carb, no starch. Sauce will be easy. We won't even have to work at that. Probably going to need to lose about 5 pounds. We'll see. So we took him. So he had been evaluated by the shelter vet, got all those vaccines in his but they're doing what they need to do from their standpoint. I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. And this is to go through with rescue. So then when he got pulled by Cavalier Alliance, who was so gracious to get him out for us, and foster a few days while we were arranging transport, he was drinking a lot, which I actually think was, I was worried when I saw senior doc. Oh man, what if he's diabetic? Like, this is going to be awful. We've had diabetics before, so it's not the end of the world, but I'm like, oh man, one more thing to add to this boy's list. Well, so the foster mom was nice enough to take him into her vet and have blood work done. And the blood work actually looked really good. So we're like, okay, not diabetic, yay. Not in kidney failure, yay. I really think he's just drinking because of all the transport and change of one place to the next. And we do find that dogs, like when they get out of the shelter or when they get out boarding, when they get home, they will drink excessively. So not a big shock, but they did a urinalysis and said, a few red blood cells in there, a few white blood cells in there, pH is a little high. You might want to do a little more work on that. Okay, great. So when we got him home, the first thing I did was actually on the way home, I contacted the animal eye care centers. They actually have offices in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And do cataract removal. And so after we got the dog and we started really looking at him, we realized that he's not a senior. He is actually a young dog. And these are genetic cataracts, which cockers are very prone to developing. So that's great news because being able to remove these, we hope are very, very high. So I spoke with the people at the Animal Eye Care Center yesterday, and he has an appointment for Tuesday, so a week from today, to be evaluated for potential cataract removal. That could be a game changer for this guy. Like, we could wind back his clock by a lot of years. He loves to play with toys, but the poor guy can't find his balls to play with, and that's what he loves to play with. So I think I'm going to have to find some. I'm either going to have to put scents on them, or I'm going to have to find some with some bells that make noise, or so because he hones in. His hearing is phenomenal. He's already finding his way around the house. He knows the sound of the sliding glass door that go in and out. So he's well house trained. So he barks if he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he goes right out and comes right in and does his thing. So he hasn't had any accidents, but he's been really good. When he has accidents, it's people fault, not dog fault. So we took yesterday locally because I thought, you know what, I do want to go ahead and get an x-ray and make sure we don't have bladder stones. I do want to get his eyes checked for glaucoma, because if he has glaucoma, we need to start medication a lot sooner. Two, that's going to probably not allow him to have cataract surgery, and I don't want to wait a week to find out on that. So we took him in. Great news, no glaucoma. His eye pressures, both eyes, are normal. They were 15 in both eyes, which is just phenomenal. So we don't have glaucoma. If his retinal testing tests okay next Tuesday, then hopefully we way to getting him scheduled for cataract surgery, because his lab work was fine. We did ask for an x-ray yesterday to see if he has bladder stones, and he has a lot, probably hundreds things. I suspect that they are probably oxalate stones, which are more common in this breed, and with the diet that I suspect was on, I'm just thinking it's more likely to be oxalate stones. The shelter had given him long-acting antibiotic Convenia, which I'm not thrilled about either. But maybe that's helping his bladder, and it's not the best thing for bladder infection, but maybe it's helping him make him feel a little better. He's not peeing every 5 minutes. He's not acting like he's uncomfortable. So it's just a lot that we have to deal with a couple of months with this guy. So first things first, we're getting him eating. That's the first thing. We got to get him eating. He does have some crusty skin. He's got yeasty, swollen ear, diet-related cocker issue. So spaniel, I should just say spaniel issue, because who knows? He's cockalier. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. He's sweet. So kind of one thing at a time. Getting him eating, that's step one. So symptoms of glaucoma, cloudy eyes, red eyes, bulging eyes, and blindness. So he's got red eyes. He's got and cataracts can actually predispose them to glaucoma, because the cataract can block the drainage angle of the lens or the eye for the fluid that has to cycle around. So really happy that we don't have that going on. So we did start him on some anti-inflammatory eye drops just to get us through from now until when he sees the ophthalmologist and we can get something more specific. And I'm treating his ears for his yeast, so no antibiotics there. And since he had an injectable antibiotic, that kind of screwed up his microbiome, so it's going to take a little longer on the ears, but we're getting them on good food, and that'll make a huge difference. The ears I would expect to clear up on their own with dietary changes. The skin issue, got some crusty, his foster mom gave him a bath, which was nice. He still has some crusty skin spots, but again, I think between the antibiotic and the diet change, I think that's going to take care of itself as well. I have not started detoxing him, so I will make up a detox plan for him. I have not started him even on probiotics or anything yet, because the most important order of business right now is making him feel comfortable at home and getting diet. So until I have him eating really well, I am not going to put 15 supplements and things in his bowl. So my job over the next few days is to map out what I want to approach first. what we need to deal with first, what I think talks the most, um, and then figure out what he'll tolerate added to his food. He's not a huge fan. Mouth, he tolerates it, but he's not a huge fan. He's not a fan of eye drops. He's not a fan of ear drops. So giving him a bunch of oral liquids and drops is right now. I want him to really love me. So this is where you have to kind of prioritize what's most important and how you're going to pursue that moving forward. So that is what we are going to do over the next week. I will make my plan for him, and then we'll start things one at a time and see what he'll put up with. But I need him to be eating really well and before we start adding things into it. And while I'm giving a pup date, I'm going to give a kitty update as well. So a lot of you saw a post last week about Mittens, our 12-and-a-half-year-old cat who we've had literally since he popped out of his mama's uterus. He was a bottle baby that I delivered at my clinic. And we melanoma under his tongue last week. So cats are not small dogs. They are very difficult to medicate. They don't like anything out of the ordinary. Luckily, he's a raw-fed cat, so his food is very soft. He will eat some food. And we've been really mashing things up even more than normal for him. I made a plan for him, and I brought home a couple of liquid supplements. That'll be the easiest way to treat him. So I started with something as simple as turkey tail mushroom extract and CBD. I thought, okay, well, a few drops I got to get in his mouth a couple times a day. Oh, no. No. Kitties go, no. You will not treat me. And he's a great eater. He's a sweet cat. But I gave him his drops, and he literally went so crazy trying to spit it out, started hacking and coughing. He wasn't very much. And he was not happy, and he coughed and hacked and pawed at his face until he was coughing blood. And I said, well, we're not doing that. I don't want my cat to hate me. I don't want to stress him. So we do have some dried mushroom treats, and we have some dried CBD treats, which I have to cut up with scissors into very small pieces. He loves. So I'm getting mushrooms and CBD into him that way. And so as long as he's comfortable in eating, that is what we are going to do. I'm not his last month or 2 months or 3 months with me. Oh, thank you, Dragonfly, for buying a badge. We appreciate it. I'm not going to make time on earth something that he hates. I don't want him running away from me. I want him to come to me for comfort. I want him to come sit in my lap. I want to pet him. I'm not going to be able to do that if I'm torturing him trying to have it my way. So that's my plan for the kitty. So that's our update. And I'm going to tell you something that I told our vet yesterday, and she and I are both kind of shocked. The very first thing I noticed with our cat Mittens, he's a gray turned brown. Over the last few months, his coat went from gray to brown. Why is doing something? Interesting. Anyhow, okay, so Charlie's awesome. You'll be hearing more about him. You'll be seeing more about him, video of him, because he's really cute and he's fun. Everybody else likes him for the most part. Forrest once in a while kind of says, I think he's jealous. Kind of gets a little cranky, but overall, pretty good. And Charlie, he's Mr. Mellow. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's all good. Like, so, all right. Let's see. I don't know how to find the music. Oh, there it is. Yeah.